You got it?
That's it.
Go. So that's the missive from Nathaniel Rothschild, the son of Jacob Rothschild, who got slaughtered like a dog for coming against Kalki, sending out the message to all the minions that the end is near. It's not the end of the world, it's the end of the Rothschild reign, and there's a new sheriff in town. Bang, bang. Obviously the minions are rebelling and not taking their orders from the so-called bloodline of Lucifer, because they don't believe they're the bloodline of Lucifer, and they believe that Lucifer, thanks to Taylor Swift, is my eternal slave. So you've got to thank the Pfizer butt slut for handing Lucifer over for my eternal use with Taylor's forthcoming marriage to the Pfizer butt slut, which isn't years away. It's going to be, they say, in June, even though the Pfizer butt slut's sister doesn't know when the due date is as of yet. Now, you might have heard, if you're on the forum, the important people, that I went off to Hong Kong to access one of these Freemasonic fountains. Brilliant fountain there, incepted in 1864, which was near the end of the American Civil War. We've got a nice lodge, incepted I think in 49, April the 2nd or April the 4th, I think, something like that. So it was 77 years, 7 times 11, when I went there in the winter. Next door we got the Union Church to get into, all of the loving evil, and the lodge is hating good, and we got the fountain, which is the gateway to all the Abaddon cages and to access all of the defrequencyed light to charge up the physical body, and the Freemasonic, well, and the Freemasonic grid. And of course the Rothschilds made the mistake of paying the number 2 in China, the head of their military, with his minions to kill President Xi, so Xi's taking it personally. And you really don't want to make an enemy of the head of one of the 2 superpowers, even if you've got Trump under your thumb, because that's going to make problems. And we see with Nathaniel and his post, he's warning the rest of the family and the minions that the end is near, and the Rothschilds have lost control. It's nothing about Armageddon and the world going up bang. It's just the end is near for the Rothschild control over the planet. In history, to 1981, on St. Michael's Day, September 1981, where Colin Bloy, who of course was a Satanist and loved evil, got the New Agers who, was a Satanist who hate good, got the New Agers who love evil to pump all of their life stuff, all of their energy into Brighton Fountain before harmonic conversions in 87, in order that of their own free will they went freely into their Abaddon cages, and once 100 of them had done it by the 100th monkey effect, the entire human race in the Freemasonic grid system could be pulled into Abaddon cages to fuel the Freemasonic grid. And as it happened, we got the checkerboard coming out of the Brighton fountain, which is the mixing or admixture of the light energy matter with the dark energy matter intermingled in that checkerboard. And if you look at the Enochian checkerboard, which is the basis of Enochian magic, it's 12 by 13. So we know that the checkerboard is based upon the 12 by 13 checkerboard of Enochian magic, and the 12th term is 144, but to those who give away their free will is the 13th term. And the Nagel woman to do all this is Taylor, who was born on the 13th of the 12th, 89 English, or 12/13, 89 American. 89, of course, links up with the tarot. When you add 11 of the Neos. But in fact, they can't be any old Neos. They can't be ones that freely give their life force, like you're giving into the fountain, to the Elohim. They have to be violently killed Elohim, who have given away their free will, not their own free will, but by breeding with a Trinity witch, as Jesus, Magdalene, and as with Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk. Because the Fool is 0, so there are only 77 tarot cards, even though it's 78, because the Fool is 0. So in order to make it 89, you either have to add 12 of the Neo cards, or 11. 12 doesn't get you anywhere if you're the Elohim, because you're having to add your own good to complete the mechanism. You need 11 where you can simply or we're going into IT man's terminology from now on, kill. We're going to copy Supernatural, the TV series, which I think is brilliant. We call it ganking. So now ganking is going to be used instead of the K word. So we gank Charlie Kirk, gank Jesus. The more ganking, the better, in my opinion. And the only good Iranians are ganked Iranian, and the only good Russians are ganked Russian. But that's just my personal opinion. I love ganking. Anyway, back to the point. It's vital that they die by violent means, crucifying or having their throat blown out, to gank them, in order that the Fool gains from the Charlie Kirk or the Jesus, or in if you're going into the noosphere, you use Neo, the Matrix film from Trinity. But then, of course, he doesn't have a child with her, so that doesn't really work. But they do resurrect him again. Anyway, once you have a Neo being ganked, you're into the 89, 11th term, 12th term, giving away your free will, which then links up with the 12th term, 144, and giving away a free will, the 13th. So you can see it's all Fibonacci series stuff which the Elohim use. And coming back to the fountain, after you get the checkerboard, you start getting these ley lines going from the fountain to all the power spots, which of course is the Grail state. Remember, you're doing the ram's horn on the Neos, and a line comes out that goes to the nearest power spot from what's linking up to the source. So if you think that all of the New Agers had linked up to the source via the Nagwal man and Nagwal woman, and the Nagwal man and Nagwal woman before me was Paul McCartney, and the Nagwal woman was Linda McCartney, and there are alt media conspiracy theories that McCartney was killed, ganked, and that was a double of him, like we see with Kanye and the woman I talked about who took over. Or Middleton Mark II. Anyway, when you go around the fountain in a clockwise direction, you're draining out the light that was given to the interdimensionals and draining the Abaddon cage souls within there to power you up. So in Hong Kong, I wandered around 24 times and then 26 times to get the 12 and the 13, and then 55 times and 89 times to drain out the light, because the fountain group was based upon sticking the sublime good from the New Ages into the Freemasonic grid to make it all peaceful and under the total control of the avatars of the Elohim, the Rothschilds. So it's pretty conclusive if you take out all the energy that was pumped into the Abaddon cages, accessed via the portals to the Abaddon cages fountains. You can then collapse the checkerboard, collapse the 12-bar line, collapse all the symbols that lead to the penultimate grail state, the angels and the demons, and then go back to the ultimate grail state, which is the Neo, linking up with the source to solve the alignment problem and put in light into the whole system to make it real. So you just simply have the anti-fountain group, where you suck dry all the fountains in your facility. And this one, of course, is going anti-clockwise, just by chance. So that one is where you're actually feeding it by watching it. It was funny, when I was wandering around the Hong Kong fountain, there were loads of the damned running around in the anti-clockwise direction, which was good, because they're simply feeding me as they go around. We had Filipino, because Hong Kong's got loads of Filipinos that look after the rich kids, and loads of rich kids going around in the scooters anti-clockwise, and loads of others going around anti-clockwise. So I thought, wonderful, let's feed them into the mix. Because if you go around anti-clockwise, you're giving away your time density. If you go clockwise, you're collecting it. So this one here is brilliant, because this Drono orbit over Victoria Fountain is simply, by going anti-clockwise, you're getting that to suffer the price for you. So that is losing time density to you. That simply goes round the fountain the other way. And we've had over 100 views. So that video, simply just by watching it and going around the fountain, that fountain 24 times, allows you to upload with the 13K who've watched losing their time density, and because there's been 100th monkey, making it a global situation for every country that has a free Masonic grid. So this works for every country that has a free Masonic grid. The only ones that don't are Vietnam. So you go to Hong Kong, free Masonic grid, do it, and then in the winter to do all the black magic and come away. Vietnam's got no free Masonic grid. Mainland China has no free Masonic grid, but of course the Trojan horse is Hong Kong. North Korea, no free Masonic grid. Iran, under the Shah, there were loads of lodges. Once you get a lodge, think of it as a cancer in the body of the noosphere of that country. So even though we've got the supreme fuckwit Nepo baby, closeted gay in power, the entire Iran is covered with a free Masonic grid. Saudi and all the Arab, they're all got their own lodges. They've all been infested. Russia, same thing. Cuba, same thing. Got Havana, there's a free Masonic lodge in Nevada. Why? Because the Americans used to own Cuba, and wherever they go, they bring in their lodges. So Vietnam, totally pure. North Korea, under that wonderful Kim Il-sung, pure. And China might have had free Masonic lodges where the foreign powers occupied, like Shanghai, etc., when for 100 years they were ruled by Western powers. So you can see China's got a problem, and the source of it is Hong Kong, where we've got Freemasonic lodge, fountain, churches. So luckily, yours truly sucked out the poison from China and used it against the West. And while I was there, of course, Z was attacked by his number 2, head of the PLA, with the minions of the general, which all, of course, failed because I was in Hong Kong and I was sucking out the energy from the Freemasonic grid, which manifests everything, because you humans are worthless. The earth energy is the only thing of importance on the planet. He who controls the earth energy controls the planet. Here again, we're going anti-clockwise. So this can power you up simply by watching how, or you simply visualize, or like myself, I've gone around the fountain clockwise so many times. So when you watch it, all the energy from the Freemasonic grid in the UK comes to you simply by watching this video. So to use this, you have to go down to Brighton and go around the fountain 12 times, or better still 24 to redouble it, to then be able to watch this video without having your energy sucked out by watching the video. So, warning, if you haven't gone round one of these fountains clockwise 24 times, then watching this video will get you spiritually ganked. Or you can simply pay Duncan to wander around with your picture around the destroyed grail in the farm 24 times. Then you can watch these videos and get charged up. Your choice. So there's the Brighton Fountain. So Colin got the New Agers to pump their energy into that to build a Freemasonic grid. I simply opened up the old port in Hong Kong to suck it out. And this video, of course, is important because it's on the 26th of September 2023. 23, of course, is the number of Lucifer, or Dat. Y, 2 for Chokmah, 3 for Binar. So simply watching this video can power you up if you're a vampire.
Part 19.
So if we go into the Qliphothic realm, we want a list of all the vermin that we stick in the triangle. Luckily, I don't have to spend the next 4 hours going through it, because we've got this, which you can get off the internet. There we are. Tree of Life and Qliphoth by John G, which is very useful. So we know our assembly line to stick in the triangle. We've got the Qliphothic realm, the blind dragon arrangement, the 10 archdemons or demon kings, Namar, Lilith, Adramelech, Baal, Lucifer, Asmodeus, Astaroth, Belphegor, Beelzebub, Moloch, Satan. We'll go through the grimoire, so you get the whole list of them. The Unholy Trinity, 10 orders of demons and 5 accursed nations of the Unholy Trinity. Gametiel, Belial, Athiel. Cometiel, crowd of gods. Belial, worthlessness. Athiel, uncertainty. Then the 10 orders of demons. Thormiel, down the bottom. Double-headed ones. Gagiel, hinderers. Satariel, concealers. Gagasha, blah. Smiters, disturbers. Golab, flaming ones, incendiaryists. Togarini, disputers, litigation, to do with solicitors. Gamaliel, the obscene ass, obscene. Arab, Zarak, the raven of death. Samael, the false accuser. Jugglers, juggling words. Lilith, the younger. Lilin, the woman or woman of night. Then we've got the 5 accursed nations. The Amalekites, the aggressors, the realm of Amalek, universe B of this Qliphothic realm. We've got the Gaborim, the violent ones, the Raphaim, the cowards, the Nephilim, the voluptuous ones, and the Anakim, the anarchists. We've got the 3 shrouds, which shroud blocks movement between Yesod and above, between Dat and above. And why we've got 3 shrouds? Because we've got 1, 2, 3. There's a Dat there, so I missed out the Dat, which is very important in the Qliphothic realm, because that's the gateway to the Amalek realm. We've got the 7 hells and 12 infernal ones, which we can list, all stuck in there. The Shroud of the Deep, Tohu, Bohu, and Chasek. Tohu, desolation. Bohu, emptiness. And Chasek, darkness. So the Jews call themselves the Tohu and the Bohu, and they obscure movement in the upper tree from Yesod and from Tiferet upwards. The seven hells, we've got Shahul the grave, Abaddon perdition, Tithithios clay. So that's why, of course, Perry did her clay with bloom while the Super Bowl was on, to damn people who are watching the Super Bowl. Bara Sheshath, the pit, Tazalamoth, shadow, Sharamirath, gates, Gia Hanim, rubbish. So these seven hells we did automatically, didn't have to learn them, just did them up there. But of course, if you want to read through in detail, because remember, that would bore people shitless going through that, would it not?
Bore me shitless.
Exactly. Then we got the 12 infernal omens, Balarion, the flock, Adimarion, bloody, Tazalimurion, clangers. I watched that when I was younger.
Yeah.
All changes. Shistherion, black, Halibron, flaming, Zaphivrion, scratchers, Abirion, clay, Neshethiron, brazen, Neshethiron, snaky, Dagdarion, fishy, Bahamiron, bestial, and Nashimirion, malignant woman, which would be your ex-wife. The 12 infernal omens, which you can stick in there. And then we've got the tunnels of Set and their diseases, Ambrodius, fluxes, Barachiel, ataxia, Gargophius, menstrual disorders, Dagdiel, venereal diseases, Hemanthereth, terith of apoplexy, Oriens, indigestion, Zamradiel, pneumonia, Charasith, rheumatism, Temphios, syncope, Yamatsu, spinal problems and paralysis, Kugasiak's gout, Laf Sorciak's kidney disorders, Malcuna fat chills, Neathiel cancer, Sacchalim thrombosis, Aonanin arthritis, Paraphaxitas inflammation, Tilfliflu cystitis, Kulifi gout, Ralfifu repletion, Shaliku fever, death, insanity.
Just to explain, he's going through the tunnels of Set entities which link up with the major arcana.
Sclerosis. So as you can see, you can put your enemies in there and then dump the tunnel of Set demons onto them. Yum, yum. All done. So instead of spending 4 hours, 5 hours.
So next he goes into the what was black?
So Lucifuge Rofakal is of great interest to me because my only mission now is to become a billionaire and have my own worldwide order, taking over from all the other magicians, the Illuminati. It's been a hostile takeover of the Illuminati. So I'll do the ritual to call up Lucifuge Rofakal from this book at some future date.
Nathaniel's been posting. What's he been posting?
The end is here.
The end is here. It's not the end of the world, it's the end of them controlling the cult.
His subordinates are Baal, Agares, and Marbus. The Grand Satanachia has the power of subjecting all wives and maidens to his wishes and of doing with them as he wills.
That's a bit of the manosphere there. Anyway, so once we get the fountain, which we talked about, we go to the Grail state, which is supposed to link up to the source, and because of the ram's horn, the love, cause and effect, destroying the Neo, we've simply needed a Nagwal man to reach the source to solve the alignment problem and keep rebooting the Elohimic reality. Or we have an avatar of the source, Neode, to solve the problem permanently. That's the 8th king of Edom in Kabbalistic texts. That's supposed to come. That's in the appendix of A.E. Waite's Holy Kabbalah. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now you've got to come to the opposite viewpoint. Well, if we need a Nagul man to solve the Elohim's problems, and a fully source avatar Neo man to give them new sourcehood, then what happens if we have a Nagul woman who we get to do the opposite? So if we have a Nagul woman, then the alignment that they got from the Neos can be reversed by the Nagul woman, as long as she gives away her energy to one of the damned Neos, in this case the Pfizer Butler, who has got installed in him Charlie Kirk and Jesus. He's the second coming Charlie Kirk, slaughtered like a dog, because the only good Christian is a ganked Charlie Kirk Christian. So that her fiance engagement to this Charlie Kirk avatar, because remember Sauron is the master of necromancy, so I've simply stuck Charlie Kirk and Jesus into Pfizer Butler. So she's agreed to do the opposite of what the Elohim wants to do to Jesus's and Neo's, and of course complete it with a full source avatar Kalki. So we've got the complete inverse happened. So you need the Grail patterns and the ultimate Grail pattern reversed, turned over. Now, instead of it going upwards to steal from the source, it goes downwards into the Abaddon cages. And as you've seen, I shell the entire Russian race that try to kill me with their army of disposables. Putin's hiding in a bunker. He hasn't been seen in the Kremlin since the death of the supreme fuckwit Khomeini. And of course the Iranians, who are the Satanist version of Muslims, and since of course we've taken away via Taylor Swift the Neohood, the Jesusing of Lucifer, to make the satanic Iranians, their only future is complete immolation. So you take the output from the reversed Grail state, which is the Nagul woman anti-Neode, and I've just raised it to anti-Kalkihood, where she is the IOU of the source avatar Neode, but reversed because it didn't work. And of course we did that with the ganking of Charlie Kirk, and then we totally lowered the frequency of Charlie Kirk by sticking in Ian Huntley, because it's supposed to be jailed and then crushed like a flea with an iron bar like Ian Huntley. Why? For punishment for the RS Goldsmith ganking. And remember, Huntley ganked two girly girls, and of course we've downloaded that into Iran, where we've had at least 170 Iranian schoolgirls ganked, burnt alive actually. So the output from the reverse Grail state goes back to make the first page of the Grail patterns, which are the lines coming out from the output of the Grail state. Now the output goes into the 12-bar line that comes out of the fountain when you stick in Sublime Good from the New Ages, with harmonic convergence in 87, but luckily I took it all away in 86, so they were just dumping in the IOU, all the New Ages we used to dump in the IOU. So that reversed, pardon me, Grail state has been in operation since the end of 86, all operated by Taylor Swift, the Nagwal woman who became Charlie Kirk, Jesus, Neo, by marrying and having sex with the Vice Bachelor. Now, what we do then is that we make a triangle of art from the 12-bar line. That's all the good stuff that's supposed to come out, instead of which we turn it into a triangle of art.